G'day, it's Michael Guest. I've got my young mate here, Curtis Chalker, with me. And in this episode of Start Your Own Battle, it's pretty obvious where we are. We're on the beach and we're going to target a Mulloway into the afternoon. So we've got the big rods out this time, some 6,500 size live liner reels with that secondary drag system, which is just exceptionally good for when you're targeting Mulloway. Some 20-pound Penn Super X nylon, some 30-pound fluorocarbon leader. And then the hook size depends really on the size of the baits more than anything. You'll catch big Mulloway with small hooks. They do have big mouths, but if you're using big baits and you want to go big hooks, but we've got a selection of baits here. We've got some squid, some slimy mackerel, and also some big king beachworms. They're crackers, those beachworms. I know you like those, Curtis, and I can see you've got your eyes on those. But what we've done is we've done a snood or a snell rig. You've got the same thing happening on yours, which is lost in the sand. We've found it, that's all right. So I've got two chemically sharpened 4-0s, so a couple of cutting point 4-0s on there, that 30-pound fluorocarbon leader. Some people like to fish a lot heavier. Definitely get more bites when you fish lighter. Fish light, get the bite. And then your sinker size is totally dependent on how much water movement, and there is a fair bit there at the moment. Curdy's gone a bit lighter, mine's a little bit heavier at the moment. That's those star sinkers that'll anchor into the bottom. So let's have a look at bait-wise. So I've got a couple of fresh slimy mackerel there, which make great fillet baits. Nice big whole squid, which I'll probably put on a little bit later, or if the pickers are about. So if there's some smaller fish picking at our baits. That slimy, I'll go with the slimy fillet to start with, which is just simply going to pop that 4-0 through there like so. Hook exposed. This one through once, just to sort of keep it stitched in there, and a second time. And that can sit out there like that. And then we'll just put a half hitch around the tail. So that's turning that loop, putting that half hitch in there, and that is ready to go out there wafting around for a Mulloway. And then Curdy, what we'll do with, so look at these things. These are massive big king worms that have been soaked in methylated spirits. They're the biggest worms I've ever seen. So what we'll do with Curdy's setup is we've got those two hooks. Normally you just use one hook or the beach worm, but these things are so big. So make sure you start at the head end. If you don't start at the head end, they will segment up a little bit and fall apart. So that's the tough bit. We'll put that up through that 4-0, push that around, and then we'll just break it off down towards the top of that hook. So we want a nice big fluttering presentation for the Mulloway, and then we'll keep going in that same direction on the bottom hook. Break that off. I'm baiting you up here, ready to go, mate. And there we go. So that's going to waft around in and amongst those waves. Got some great looking structure behind. I just want to say structure. There's a nice gutter, a big sandbank, some foam coming over it. Everything's there. We just got to catch a fish.
Yeah.
Yep, there's a bite. Oh, there's a bit of a touch. Come on, eat it. There he goes. Oh, yes. Oh, got that secondary drag system. It's had a bit of a touch there, and they're fishing for Mulloway there at the moment, and they love to sit underneath the foam and the bubbles. That's the area where they tend to hang out, even in the middle of the day, as long as you get in those shaded areas. And I reckon this might be just a little fella that was poking around there. That would be a great start. Here we go. Oh. It's important to have nice soft hands when you get into the bubbles there, and it is. I reckon it might be a real little bloke. Oh, it's a tiny little fella. Look at that. Wow, and that hook's just pulled. And I'll just pop that out of there. That's exactly what we came for. Come have a look at this, Curdy. They are such a beautiful looking fish. That's only a tiny little fella, but I reckon there's always a chance of a bigger one here somewhere. That is a glorious looking little fish. Check that out. How silver are they when they come out of the beach? So that's a good start. That tells us straight away we're in a good area for later on.
Yeah.
But to kick off with a pretty little fish like that is sensational. We'll get him back in a second. He can swim off, but what a glorious looking fish that is. Off you go, buddy. There you go. Woo.
Hey, Guesty, you think I got one?
Another little fella, go mate, grab him. So 2 4-0s, and when you're using those great big beach worms, they work really well because you can sort of have one trailing and another one trailing. And a 30-pound fluorocarbon leader, back to our 20-pound nylon. The size sinker you need, we'd probably get away with a slightly lighter one here at the moment, and get him straight back in. Off you go, bud. long rods like this give you the ability to cast a lot further, but when you hold it up like this, the angle allows you to sort of clear the shore break, which is just fantastic. Kurt is using a really big long one there. That's a 14'6", 10 to 25 kilo, 3-piece, and this one's the 8 to 20 kilo 3-piece that I've got as well. So they break down, that's the first join there. So the whole system, when you pack it away, is only that long, which is ideal for putting in the car and travelling. And then 6500 live liner reel with that secondary drag system. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 settings there. I've got on the first one. Oh, there it goes. And if I want to just peel a bit of line out, if the rip's taking my bait out a bit further, I can just let it go. Or certainly if a Mulloway picks it up, wants to run off with it, let it go, hit that handle, and I'm back to my fighting drag, and away we go. What do you got? Another little Mulloway?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a little one.
Little Mulloway. Oh no!
Oh, it's a brim.
Oh, it's a big brim. Just stop winding there, mate. Oh, look at that. Brim are just one of those classic bycatch fish that you're going to get when you're fishing for Mulloway. You know, they'll be picking at your baits, but I've got to tell you, that's a pretty big one, that one. They're another one of the nighttime predators as well. So as it gets later, that's the prime time for Mulloways, that late afternoon into the evening. Really early in the morning's good too, and so you get them in the middle of the day. We've caught a couple of little ones already sitting under that foam, but he's a good sign. If he's there, the smaller Mulloway there, hopefully the bigger ones are not too far away. Finding Mulloway, or any fish for that matter, on the beach is all about reading it. When I say reading the beach, working out where the benign areas are that really aren't going to hold a lot of fish, and then where the areas are that the fish are going to stack up. So you've got things like sandbanks, gutters, holes, areas out in the back here where it's breaking, reforming, and you have this bubbly area sitting over the top of this gutter, which is just a fantastic spot to be fishing. So they're all the areas that are going to hold fish. So a real structureless area is not likely to have a lot of fish there. But where you've got a gutter ripping out here, forming into a hole, another gutter coming that way, they're all great places to be fishing.
This feels like a good one.
Are you going there, bud?
Yeah, got him on.
Finally got a slightly better one, you reckon?
Yep.
How many small Mulloway have we caught? Little Mulloway, couple of nice brim, and this looks like a slightly better one right here, right now. So just steady, steady. That's a big rod for you to be hanging on to,
Yeah.
14'6". Lets you get up over the waves, bud, doesn't it?
Yep.
Good stuff. Oh, I can see him there. He looks like a slightly better one, bud. How much fun. And you can do this. We're standing on, you don't need a boat. You're on the sand. Get yourself sorted, get some gear. And away you go, and you can start your own battle. It's easy as that. Sneak him up there, bud. Keep him coming. All right. That's what we wanted to see, Curdy. Well done.
Oh.
Woo. That's a seriously nice fish. Look at that. Mulloway will feed on just about anything, but they absolutely love beach worms, and these big ones that have been cured in metho, they work really well. Certainly if you can catch big live worms, even better still. We had a range of baits there. Slimy mackerel, squid, but I think the worms were the pick of the day. All right, we'll get the hooks out of this one, we'll let it go, eh?
Yeah.